Hey there, welcome back to another Halloween acrylic painting lesson. I'm Mike Ferris. I'm going to be getting started on my 11 by 14 inch pre-stretched canvas. And with the traceable, I'm not going to do the whole thing yet. I'm just going to do where the horizon and the land, the land and the sky separate here. So I only have this part of it out, and if you'd like the traceable, it is available down in the description box. Also, I have a short video on how I transfer images to my canvas. So getting started on my palette, I've got some Phthalo Blue, Phthalo Green, Raw Umber, Yellow Medium, and Titanium White. So I'm going to start up here in the sky. I'm just going to make a general kind of color. I'm just going to take just a teeny bit of Phthalo Green, a little bit of blue, a little bit of Raw Umber, and now I want to get a little yellow for the glow of the moon to kind of sort of be in there a little bit. So a little bit of that. See, I'm going to warm that up. Okay, a little bit more Raw Umber. I want to dull this down. So I'm going to get quite a bit of white now to this. And let's see, I'm looking for something about like this. And let's see, now what I want to do, I want to get a little bit darker. So let's go with same colors. I'm going to go with some Phthalo Green, Raw Umber. And I want to darken that down. And I'm not going to put any yellow in this time. Okay, a little Phthalo Blue. Let's go a little bit more Raw Umber into that. All right, and then again, I want to get some Titanium White. Okay, let's go a little bit more Raw Umber, a little bit more green. And this is really just to make more color, to cover more ground, so I don't want to run out of color here. Now let's get a little bit more color made to cover more ground here. So more of these colors here. Okay, got to be careful with that Phthalo Blue. It will take over everything if I let it. Okay, just a little bit of white, not too much. All right, I want more color in here. Okay, something like this. Let's get more color made here. Okay, let's mix it with a little bit of this light stuff, just a little bit to get that in there. Just so the transition is more gradual and not so sudden. Well, let's put that right there. Okay, and I want to do the same thing again. I want to get a little bit more of this green, Raw Umber, Phthalo Blue. Not a whole ton of Phthalo Blue again. That'll take over if I let it. Okay, let's get some more white up into this. Something, yeah, something like that. So you can see the different values here, how they're all playing along now. And I'm going to go with this. Okay, so I'm going to take my number 11 flat brush to do all of this stuff. So my moon's going to be about in this area right here. So I want to start there with my lightest value. I'm going to take this value here and say something about right in here. And just kind of want to do this circular motion. Just kind of put that down. Okay, something like that. And I can even take it further, of course, than it needs to be, just because the darker stuff's going to cover over it very well. Okay, just kind of something like this. And I don't want hard lines out here because it's going to be a lot easier to blend into this and have that gradual moonshine kind of fading off into the night. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and take, without cleaning, this value here, the lighter stuff, or the mid stuff, I should say. Okay, and I want to go ahead of this, and I want to just kind of bring it up and around. And as paint kind of runs off the brush and gets lighter, it's going to be easier to kind of blend into this a little bit. See, like this. See, just like that. And I can take this out, just kind of run it out like this. See that? Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to go to this darker stuff now. Again, no cleaning because it's the same values. And dark covers over lighter stuff very easily. It's when you're trying to cover up dark with light. That's when, you know, this is why I started in the middle with light and I'm working out. Okay, so as you can see, darker value. Let's get this over here for the night sky. Okay, now let's see, I'm gonna just take some white since that darker value is on my brush, and watch, I can just kind of lighten the color and then go back into this stuff. See, and just change the value right back just that easily. I don't have to clean my brush. I can just pick up more white or get it, you know, darker color. And you just kind of do this. And that moonshine out, see that? Just kind of illuminating. It already starts to look kind of like a spooky forest indication. Kind of like there should be a full moon there already. Ain't that nice? Now I'm going to go ahead and get some more titanium white. Again, I want this really light stuff. Let's go back into here. Let's get a little bit more yellow because I lost the glow a little bit with that other blue involved. Okay, something like this. Maybe a little bit of that. Okay, kind of like this. Okay, see, I can just change right back. I don't have to clean. And again, I want to go back in here. Okay, maybe a little bit more white and yellow. There we go. See, anytime you want to adjust them, it's all good. And let's just run this again. And even with this light stuff, as I bring it down, it's going to really make a nice transition. And it's going to really help to blend out really well like that. See that? The moon's really going to shine and illuminate super well in that area. Okay, I'm going to bring this all the way down and just blend it out and dust it out into that darker value, and we get that nice gradient. Okay, totally looking for that nice gradient to happen. Not afraid to bring it down into that dark value as if it were too much, because I can always take dark again and blend back into the light if I need to. Okay, so just kind of like this. See, I'll even mix these two. I can get a little bit more white. See, it's so nice to have these pre-mix. I can just, it's like they're out of the tube, but they're not because they're sitting there as if I poured them. But like I said, mixing them ahead of time. Super ideal. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of do this. You can see the different value change here, and it tells me where the land and the sky meet and all of that. And I can totally get everything where I need it to be and just basically map out with general colors for now where things go. Okay, something like that. See that? Now I'm going to let this dry. All right, I went ahead and I flipped over my traceable image and my black wax transfer paper. I was able to get the moon traced out on top of this after it dried. Just some locations on where some tree stumps and things are going to be for that, and then also some rocks here in the foreground that are on the ground here. So Again, this traceable is available down in the description if you'd like some help with the drawing process where you can just freehand it as you follow along or whatever you want to do. So I'm going to move on with now my number 6 angle brush here. These brushes are excellent. The tips and the edges are going to give me the nice precision that I need to stay within my perfect circle of my moon here. So with that, now I'm going to take just titanium white. Maybe there's a little bit of some of that other color in there, but it's all good. Okay, this is going to show up really well against this. So I'm just going to block in, and I'm actually going to leave some of this dark in here to show the moon crater kind of details. So I don't want to cover all of it up. See, I'll just kind of do that. But what I really want to do is use the edge of this angle brush to really get in here, like I said, and just really get that nice precision line there. See, like that, and really helps to get that very well that way. So with this white, I'm just going to, like I said, block in this moon. And of course, if I cover up too much of that dark, my values are already made. I can just come in there and knock back some of the white and just add it back in. So I'm going to kind of drag this white out just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more of that. And the moonshine and the fog here, just kind of, the moon just kind of gets lost in it a little bit. See, like that. Okay, something like that. See that? Just has a nice little bright shine to it. Okay, and also out here as well. See, isn't that nice? Just brings that nice shine down into it like this. Okay, now I'm going to change brushes. I'm going to clean that number 6 angle brush off. I'm going to be using it again for my trees here in just a little bit, but what I actually want to do is I want to take my number 4 natural flat brush here. Those natural bristles are going to really help to get a nice gradient as well into the fog here as the light from the moon illuminates out. Okay, and so with that, I'm going to take just a little bit of paint on the brush here, as you see, and just going to sort of work this out kind of in here like this. See that? It gives a nice cloud and kind of fog effect, and just, again, a nice gradient. And I can really get this kind of transition like that. See that? From the moon, it just kind of illuminates down. Okay, and so what I want to do now is kind of go back into some of these colors here that I made. Again, I want to get some white. Okay, more white. And let's see, let's get a little bit more yellow to warm that up from the moon. The moon kind of has this, let's see, let's get some more white now. A little bit too much color from the other ones in it, and it's getting low, so we'll see, do this here. Okay, a little bit more white. Let's get that brighter. And a lot of that paint off the brush as I want to take some more color off and get more white to brighten that. Okay, something like that again. And again, just a little bit of paint at a time. And as you can see here, I'm going to sort of take over with this color and kind of go up into that lighter white here. Kind of get that nice transition. Okay, something like that. Okay, I'm going to get some more white. I want to cover up the traceable here a little bit. Okay, just kind of like that. And I didn't really want to push too hard when I was using my stylus with the wax transfer paper because I didn't want to get a super dark line that was going to be kind of difficult to cover up. Because as you know, with acrylics, lighter colors that try to cover dark colors is a little bit much. You have to kind of spend more layers and time and you know, just to try to get it, you know, all covered up and everything. So that's all good. I can do it. Okay, out here, I want to get more of this lighter stuff. Okay, kind of coming out here a little bit. So the light's kind of losing the moon a little bit into the fog. Like I said, it's really illuminating out. And again, if I get too much light out there in the darker stuff, just take that value and come back into the light stuff. And you can really push these around and push them back and forth and make it, you know, what it should be until it cooperates. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to take just a hint of some yellow now into my white. Okay. I want to get it just kind of a hint of some yellow in there just to show the moon glow. See, kind of like this. Ain't that nice? It just kind of gives that light moon off of there. Well, it's not completely white. Okay, just kind of like this. And I want to blend this out. See, this moon glow comes out and just kind of zings out of there. See that? Okay, and what I want to do now is take some of this, some more of that color here. Okay, a little bit more yellow maybe. Okay, and I want to sort of work, well, it's a little bit dark. Let's get a little bit more white. And see, just like that, I can just change it up, make it more subtle and not so take over. Okay, I'm just kind of randomly dancing that in there. See, we get that moon effect there really well this way. Okay, again, just using those same colors and adjusting them, adding more white, adding more color if there's too much white, and going back over something if it's not right or too much or whatever it is. And you can totally just adjust these anytime. There's never a mistake or anything you have to live with if you don't like something. Okay, a little bit more white now. See, I can go back in here and lighten that down. See, just like that. See how that just takes that down? It makes it more natural looking, and we get more of a moon indication that way. Okay, now I want to clean that brush, and I want a dry natural bristle brush, and I want to just go just pure titanium white. Actually, not pure titanium white, my bad. I want to go with a little bit of that yellow in there and just maybe a hint of some of that other kind of puce green involved that I made. Okay, something like that. And again, I want to cover up some of that line, and I also want to define some more of the moon shape to show that there is a full moon. Very important in this piece to want to have a full moon. Gotta have a full moon here. That's what these figurines are kind of thriving on. But see, kind of like that, and you can totally see that. And the indication is very clear. Okay, I'm gonna take some of that moon glow down, just kind of working this glow, building it up. Just kind of taking my time and just making this happen slowly but surely. Okay, and each time you put a layer and each time you go back in to move colors around, it just gets better. It gets easier to place your blends and get everything popping and happening like I should, or like it should. But as you can see, look, it's got this nice light and this glow happening. It's just illuminating into this picture and infiltrating the night sky and just really brightening things up. And that's totally the effect that I want to give this. So okay, something like that. And again, cleaning that brush, it gets dried out, and I don't want the bristles to get ruined, so I do clean it every now and again for that reason. But I want it dry, super duper dry, with a natural bristle brush. That's the way they work super well. Okay, and again, I want to get this light color Okay, it's got a hint of some of that yellow medium, just a hint of this lighter stuff, but mostly white. And again, I want to take this down. Okay. Bring this light that's really zinging down and into everything. Okay, just giving it a more dramatic effect this way. Okay, I'll even take the rest of that paint off my brush and kind of scrape some of that in here. Okay. Just really getting this to light up and infiltrate this painting with that moon glow. A very, very key element and aspect in this picture. So just kind of like that. Okay, a little bit more of that light color. Okay, something like that. And you can work this to any degree that you want. And again, as I said, each time you work this over, it just makes the dramatic effect that much more, and it just pops it each time a little bit better and a little bit more glow and shine that you're going to get out of that. So it's up to you. Do as much or little as you want. Okay, I'm going to move along now. I'm going to get into these trees now. I'm going to go now into my number 6 angle brush again to start blocking in trees. I want to get the ones in the background first though. And in a landscape, I find it's always important to work from the back forward. And it just works out better that way. So I'm going to take this color again that I made and a little bit more white to it. Okay, and then I'm actually going to take a little bit of raw umber and phthalo blue because I want to darken it. Let's see, a little bit more. I kind of want to get kind of this darker color, see, like this. And okay, something like that. And I'm going to start blocking in these trees here. So nothing special, super easy. Just going to do something like this. Okay, just kind of very loose. I'm not worried about too much detail and neatness and all that. So just going to sort of bring this, kind of disappear like this into the fog, and okay, maybe something like that. Same thing here. A little branch going off there. Okay, and let's see. Let's do something in the background here. It's just kind of, what I'd like to do now is I want to take my script liner brush and I want to put a lot of water on it. Very important to have a lot of water on a script liner. And I want to go back into that same color. Okay, a little bit of white, not much. Let's see. Okay, let's do something like this. Okay, I'm going to pull it through as I turn it, and it's going to load the bristles very well and bring it to a nice sharp tip like this. And I just want to basically go up here and just kind of do this. See that? You got a little tree in the background here, and then let's go. Okay, a little bit of pressure when I want to bring it to a nice sharp tip, more pressure as I want to make the branches fatter. Okay, so okay, just kind of however. Coming up like that, see that? Okay, something like that. Just kind of getting this indication of something kind of spooky, and these dead branches, you know, it is fall, so of course all the leaves are falling off everything, winter's coming, blah blah blah, you know how it is. nature already speaking itself. Okay, I'm going to go back to my number 4 natural flat bristle brush. And what I like to do is take some of this color here. Okay, and just a little bit of paint on the brush. I just kind of want to fade this. See, like this. Look at what this does. It makes the fog kind of look like it's taken over, like it's kind of been pushed back a little bit. Okay, kind of like this. Okay, see that, like that? And I'm going to go back now to my number 6 angle brush. And now, as you know, in a landscape, things that are further away are more kind of not as bright or not as dark or saturated as the things in the foreground. So what I'm going to do actually is make up a darker color for the trees in the foreground, especially for the rocks that are going to be in the front as well. I'm going to go to raw umber and phthalo blue. Okay. Essentially that makes kind of a dark black color. Okay. I'm thinking something like this. And I want to start up here and just kind of wiggle back and forth and kind of fill this in. Okay, kind of like this. See that? And just pretty much block in the trunk, kind of like this. All right, and then what I want to do is load up just a little bit more. And then as I bring it out, I want to use very little pressure on my brush and just get more of a fine tip. See that? Like that. Okay, maybe kind of like this. You can kind of do this however. Okay, a little bit of water on it like this. See, a little bit of water makes it flow better. I'm going to take now, again, that same script liner, lots of water, and I'm going to go back into this dark color now. See, a little bit more raw umber and blue. Okay. All right. Pulling through as I turn it to a point. And let's see, I want to kind of start doing these things here. Okay, see, just doing some branches. Okay, see that? Anything you want to do, you just make these things happen. Okay, back to my number 6 angle brush. What I want to do now is, again, I want to take this black and this blue. Okay, I don't want any other colors in. I just want a very dark color here. Very, very dark. And I'm going to do like this and just start blocking in the rocks here. Okay, just kind of like this. Okay, blocking in this little tree branch thing here laying on the ground or whatever this is. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, well, let's see. Let's block in this rock first. Okay, and I'm just kind of making these little land things here so you can kind of do whatever. I'm actually going to change brushes. I'm going to clean this number 6 angle brush off. Let's set that to the side. And what I want to do is take my number 2 beat up flat brush. This is perfect for dancing in some texture and some land stuff. So I'm going to take that same dark color here. Okay, and just kind of going to sort of do stuff like this. See, I can show the lay of the land, just kind of how things are happening. All right, just kind of however. And again, you can knock this back with the lighter value and really just work these things in and have fun and just kind of do whatever. So I'm going to freestyle this. I'm going to go raw umber, some phthalo blue. I'm going to go into some of this color here just to kind of get some of that natural land look to it and really just kind of do these kinds of things. See, like this, and just kind of shows the ground kind of doing its thing here. I'll fill in some of that. Kind of some brush in the background. Maybe I'm just kind of doing this. All right, and let's get a little white now, and let's get some of this, and just gonna sort of kind of fade this up into this, kind of surrounding the tree. I'm gonna place everything to make it look like it's in the picture now, and not just kind of floating in it. And let's see, I'm gonna just kind of do this stuff here. Just sort of kind of fade this up into the distance. It shows the fog, kind of like the land getting lost in the fog in the background here. See that? And let's see, I'm going to get a little bit more white. Yeah, it's a little bit more white than I want. That's okay though. Now what I want to do is I want to take a little white now. Okay, and I'm going to start showing some moonlight stuff kind of playing out here. Okay, just kind of the moon kind of hitting up the stuff here and lighting up stuff in the ground here. Okay, and build some texture in there. Okay, see, kind of gives the indication of some texture on the ground here a little bit. And I kind of want to show some of the rock getting hit up here a little bit. See this? And let's go with a little bit of it. Like that. And then look, a little bit of this. You know, this light value dancing it in on the rock, kind of showing the moonlight hitting the rock there a little bit. See that? And that creates texture on the rock as well. Okay, I want to tap just a little bit of this here. See that? That shows some texture of some tree branch or, you know, whatever laying on the ground there. Okay, and also right here. Okay, see how that's just happening? Just lighten this up. Totally making all this stuff happen. Kind of just go for it and rough up and do the things that you need to do. Okay. But yeah, the light's going to sort of fade off as the paint runs off the brush. I'm just going to sort of bring this down and just kind of show like this. See that? And it kind of gives texture to the rock too. You can use these highlights to detail some structure of the rock a little bit too, which is really cool. And all good. See, now I can start picking out some places here. You can see some shadow. You can see the ground kind of more lighter because this is more tucked with some texture in it. And then on the very top, show the more protruding edges out into the moonlight in this kind of way. See that? Like that. I can strike more direct highlights. You know, I can go over some of these rocks and just kind of have the fog sort of lose them out there in the distance. See, kind of like that, and like right here too. I want these to kind of get fogged over. Okay. Okay, so just however, I'm gonna just get some more white now and see, I can just really sparkle it up. What I'd like to do now is actually take a little bit more of this white and see a little bit more yellow, or actually add some yellow. I want to go back to kind of like this light moon glow color, and I kind of want to just sparkle up again. See, in this area here, let's get a little bit more white into that actually. All right, see that? I can always adjust stuff anytime, anyway. Kind of want to bring this light glow down a little bit further and just give it more of a fog effect. See this? Okay. It's going to help the figurines here in a little bit that I'm going to put in the foreground show up that much better. Okay, see that? Maybe a little bit more white. But look at that, how spooky and cool and all that. Okay, let's get a little bit more white and right in here. right in between the rocks. See that nice fog effect there? And again, use a natural round bristle brush if you don't have, like I said, the natural or the nylon beat up flat brush. Okay, and let's see. Okay, getting a little bit of this color now that I had made, just, you know, kind of something like this. Okay, so as you can see, I've traced out my figurine zombies here, and again, pulled the traceable down to do that with the wax transfer paper. So I'm going to take my 3/8 angle brush. This is going to help me get into some fine areas and pretty much just block in these guys here. And of course, I'll do some fog effects over them and all of that. But for right now, I just kind of want to go, again, I want to make up that dark value of blue and that raw umber mixture here to get that dark value involved. Okay, a little bit more blue. Okay, something like this. And I'm going to go ahead now and begin with the very tip, the very edge. I can get these nice precise areas. I can pretty much just block it in. Okay, just like this. Okay, so I want to leave some of this open because I want to show some kind of ripped garment here a little bit. See this? Okay, kind of like that. I want to take my number 2 nylon beat up flat brush again, and I want to start doing some highlights and some things on there to show that they're in the picture. See, right now it looks like they're just kind of on the picture, but I'm going to bring up some fog onto them and give some moonlight highlights and stuff, and in that way kind of show some detailed stuff so that they're in the picture, and that's going to make all the difference. I'm going to make up that color again, so some phthalo blue, phthalo green, some raw umber. Let's go titanium white into that. Again, just kind of looking for that kind of light background color here. Okay, something very light. Once again, something like that. And I just kind of want to, very little paint on the brush, very important. I don't want to have this really covered up really per se. I just kind of want to just kind of do something like this. See that? Kind of just shows his head being kind of hit by the moonlight there. Okay. And I want to make these little kind of skeletal things here on him, on his chest here. Okay, you can skip this step. All good. Okay, something like that. And I want to show a little bit of just kind of highlight on them like that. See that? And I'll put some of that in here. Okay, and just kind of say something like that, yeah. Okay, we'll do something kind of like that. And then down here, I just kind of want to, just kind of lightly, very little pressure with my brush. I just kind of want to bring up the fog up into them. See, like this. And as you can see, it just really brings in that fog effect and that spooky effect here. Okay, just like that, really well. Okay, something like that, see that? And then on the gal zombie here, let's go with her kind of like this. Work this up onto her like this, see that? It's all about the values and just kind of doing these effects to get everything to kind of settle in and kind of have this look to them. See that? I can... Okay, he's back further into the fog like that. See that? Let's do that down here. Okay, just like that. And one thing that I wanted to do, I'm going to take my angle brush again. I wanted to kind of, again, show some clothing kind of drips, or, you know, kind of like that. See that? Okay, see? So it's kind of like his garments are kind of torn here. Like he crawled out of the grave, maybe, yeah? Okay, see, something like that. I can even use my finger and kind of settle that down to show just kind of some effect there. Okay, just like that. Perfect. And again, I want to take this beat up flat brush and just kind of do these things here. Okay, something like that. And kind of like this. Back in here. And I really want to settle him down into the fog big time. I kind of want to go over him kind of like that, and he looks like he's kind of in the fog area, see, like that. And I'll actually get a little bit of color back in. Okay, what I want to do to kind of bring this into a final kind of deal here, I want to take that light background color with a little white in it, just to kind of brighten it. And I just kind of want to kind of do this kind of number here, just very lightly with my brush. Okay, just to kind of really ramp up the fog effect on the characters see, just to kind of show more of a dramatic effect with all of this. Okay, so with my script liner brush, lots of water and titanium white, I'm going to go ahead and sign right here. And once again, I want to thank you so much for following along and all of your support. If you dig my video lessons and my art, please kindly subscribe, as this does support me and allows me to continue with these videos, and I do appreciate that, you guys. Thank you so much for that. And as you can see, just a few colors and not much cleaning, because you can always adjust them with more or less white or more or less of another color, and it really is very forgiving and a very simple painting, in fact. So really go for it. There's a lot of freestyle and a lot of ways to practice with different aspects of blending and the script liner brushes you saw. And so totally go for it. Let me hear your questions and comments down below. Any questions you have, I'll do my best to answer anything. And with that, I want to wish you again a happy Halloween and happy painting to you.